We open to find an away team on an alien planet, searching for fresh fruit and veg. Lieutenant Brokennose thinks he's found a space apple, only to have Neelix tell him that eating it will first choke him and then rot his dick off. Up on Voyager, Paris thinks he's found someone else in orbit, but they're being stealthy. Janeway tells Chakotay to teleport the away teams back up, then poops a ball of yellow at the stealth ship before the away teams return, which feels a bit premature, but I'm not in charge. The ball reveals a Kazon ship, so Janeway tells everyone to get back to Voyager ASAP, which wouldn't have been necessary if she'd waited, just saying, and the away team get ready to teleport back. But there's a problem. Seska, the mutiny marquis, who's been suspiciously prominent in the last 2 episodes after basically nothing for all the episodes before them, isn't at the teleport site. Chakotay goes to look for her while everybody else buggers off back to the ship. He finds Seska in a cave, but also finds a couple of Kazon. Chakotay hits one of them with his yellow poop, then the other hits him with blue poop. Seska puts her yellow poop on the remaining Kazon in return, leaving her the only unpooped participant. Seska gets Chakotay out and they scarp her, as does Voyager when they're back aboard. A little later, Seska visits a healing Chakotay. She even brings mushroom soup, which would be a nice gesture if it hadn't involved looting food reserves. Chakotay is unimpressed, and so is Seska when he tells her that she's having her replicator ration revoked for a few days. To his credit, he includes himself in this punishment, which is a nice touch from the writers. Seska is taken aback that she's being punished, and oh, by the way, apparently they were fucking before they joined Voyager. I'm sure this attempt to place more importance on the character of Seska out of nowhere has absolutely no reason at all. Up on the bridge, Voyager's receiving a distress call from a Kazon. Tuvok says it's probably the ship we saw before. Despite a warning from Neelix, who's on the bridge for some reason, we set a course to intercept. When we arrive, we discover that something fucky has gone down and various members of the Kazon crew have been eaten by parts of the ship. There's one survivor who gets teleported to Voyager's sickbay, then they find the source of the something fucky. Slight problem. The equipment that caused the fucky contains material that only the Federation uses. Tuvok can think of only 3 explanations. Number 1, it's not Federation tech, an option they seem to rule out for no good reason at all, despite knowing bugger all about this quadrant or its inhabitants. Number 2, they got it from a ship previously lost in the Delta Quadrant, of which there are none reported. Or number 3, someone on Voyager gave it to them, which is clearly unthinkable, because there are no deeply suspicious crew members with a history of underhandedness, who are well known enough to matter, but not so well known that they are indispensable as a central character. Tuvok believes the prize is behind door number 3, and a traitor sending covert signals would explain how the Kazon ship managed to mostly avoid their sensors, too. Tuvok points out that Seska was in the cave with the Kazon and suggests Chakotay might want to be careful. Oh, and a tangent here. While defending her, Chakotay says that when he found her in the cave, Seska almost killed him because she thought he was Kazon, which implies Voyager away teams are going around with their phasers set to kill rather than stun as standard. Odd that nobody in the writing team picked this up. Anyway, down in engineering, we're trying to come up with ways of accessing the Federation thing that went kaboom on the Kazon ship to see how they got it. Seska offers to do something extremely dangerous to grab it, and Chakotay and Janeway exchange a knowing glance at her eagerness to be the first to get it. Lieutenant Brokennose comes up with a method that won't kill them though, so they go with that instead. It'll be possible in about a day. Janeway does the typical manager thing of saying she wants it sooner, and B'Elanna tells her to balls. If B'Elanna says tomorrow, B'Elanna means tomorrow, because she's not full of shit like you Starfleet amateurs. They decide to go over to the Kazon ship to make a start, but Chakotay overrules B'Elanna when she asks Seska to come along, saying that she should coordinate from the bridge instead. Seska takes issue with this, saying she's trustworthy, then proves this by going to check on the Kazon in sickbay instead of reporting to the bridge. As she's leaving, Kez asks in passing if she's ever left a blood sample on file, as they need organic material donors for the Kazon. Turns out she never has, but despite saying her blood would be no good due to a childhood disease, the doc presses her to provide a sample anyway. Maybe later, she says, as she's terribly busy right now for reasons that are entirely above board. Meanwhile, we've discovered that a covert signal was sent from Voyager, but could have been sent by any member of the engineering department. Where Seska works. There's an unauthorized teleport to the Kazon ship. It's Seska, but don't worry lads, she's just gone over to fetch the tech, honest. However, there's a bit of a whoops, and she's teleported to sickbay. In Janeway's ready room, Lieutenant Brokennose is facing an inquisition to find the traitor. After all, the message came from his terminal, but he says that could have been anyone in engineering as things get a little fluid down there. After this, we see some friction between Janeway and Chakotay and the respective suspicions of Lieutenant Brokennose and Seska. It's a well-played reminder of the divisions that still exist between the two crews. Anyway, another Kazon ship turns up and asks what's going on. Janeway explains and offers to let the captain teleport over to see the sole survivor of the first ship. Then Paris mocks the new Kazon guy's politeness, essentially insulting the response of an alien who's just discovered that many of his kind have been killed, because Tom Paris is a dick. New Kazon guy gives a cursory glance to the survivor, then seems in a real hurry to tow the broken ship away. Janeway explains this isn't possible due to the presence of Federation tech. He threatens her with some more ships, and she tells him to eat shit and die. Then New Kazon guy's mate just straight up murders the survivor. Well, not survivor now, I guess. It seems they don't want him to talk. That's not the only surprise, though, as the doc has something to tell Janeway. Seska isn't Bajoran. She's a Cardigan. Chakotay struggles to accept that Seska could be a spy, an argument which might be more convincing if he wasn't making it to Tuvok, who was also a spy. We're ready to try and get the tech back, so B'Elanna and a team teleport to the broken ship. New Kazon guy doesn't take kindly to this, so Janeway tells him to have another big bowlful of eat shit and die after saying she doesn't like bullies, which is a curious thing to say while you trespass on a Kazon ship because you have bigger guns than them. B'Elanna gets the tech back, and it turns out to be a food replicator, specifically one of theirs. Not a weapon, but simply something to stop them from starving, just like they didn't want to die of thirst in the first episode, but they're wrong-uns, remember, so we're allowed to not care. Meanwhile, Chakotay's questioning Seska. She has answers for the whole Cardigan blood thing, then tugs on his heartstrings. Chakotay says she'll have to stay confined while they investigate where the replicator parts came from, then leaves. As he does, he tells Tuvok that the trap is laid, as it has been for Lieutenant Brokennose too. It seems we're hunting traitors. In engineering, we detect a trace of someone trying to alter the logs for the replicator parts. Looks like it's being done under Seska's authorization, which means it must be Lieutenant Brokennose trying to frame her. Except, no. Because if you're planting evidence that you know will be found by somebody looking for planted evidence, you incriminate yourself to make it look like it was planted by the other guy. Oh, and it came from the sickbay console she used. Oh, and the doc said she was lying about the blood disease. The victory is short-lived, however, as she teleports to the Kazon ship, and then they scarp her. Afterwards, Chakotay talks to Tuvok about him being singularly terrible at finding spies, and they fly away. End of episode.